So we just watched Men Who Stare at Goats. All right, so tell us what you think.
All right. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it was still good. It had its strengths at some parts in the film, but overall, I give it a 3 for the message it sends. But the film itself, I thought was kind of boring, dragged a lot. At times, it seemed like the director ran out of material to actually keep the movie going, so he just kind of threw in random bits, like whenever they were dying in the desert and they got picked up by Psych, Kevin Spacey's new organization, or whenever the terrorists picked them up in the middle of the desert. I feel like at these times, the film kind of ran out of steam, and he just kind of invented new just bits to keep the movie going and show different aspects of the characters. But overall, I mean, I thought it was good. It had a good message. Everyone belongs somewhere, which is what the New Earth organization was doing. And those the oddballs in society, gives them a place to belong. And I really like that message, especially with Ewan McGregor, who lives his entire life, living through others as a reporter, and then whenever his life falls apart, he doesn't really have anything to live for, so he just goes on a whim and decides to follow this Jedi, George Clooney, into the Iraqi desert. And
I thought that part with him being the Jedi was super funny. How he there was one part in the film where he's just like George Clooney's character says his name's Lynn in the movie, and he says something about Jedi, and Ewan McGregor's character Bob is like, Jedi? What's a Jedi?
Yeah.
And I thought that was super funny because, Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan.
Good throwback to Star Wars.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool reference.
Go Star Wars.
So this whole movie, what it is so the government funds this New Earth army with Jeff Bridges' character sets it up after a vision he sees during the Vietnam War, and it kind of spurs off. And Lynn, George Clooney's character, gets in it, and it kind of tells his story through it and how that organization
affected his life.
And later on affects Bob's life in the movie.
And Ewan McGregor's Bob. So
yeah. And I thought that was really cool. I thought it did lack some things, of course. I mean, every movie lacks a few things. It could have been a little stronger. I thought Kevin Spacey's character, in my opinion, definitely lacked a little. I think Kevin Spacey, he's an incredible actor. And things like, House of Cards, he really just is incredible. In the movie Seven, he plays a great character. In this movie, they just didn't use his potential, in my opinion. They kind of just threw him in there.
Made him a dick.
Yeah.
A dick character.
He's always a dick in all of his movies, and I'd like to see him do something different, maybe. And I thought he would in this movie, because I thought this movie was going to be more of everyone kind of being the kind of adding a little comedy to it, which he did a little, but he just played this asshole, and that kind of upset me. I gave this movie a 4 because I really enjoyed the message. I like movies like this where it shows the oddballs in society and how they really find their way.
Because you're the oddball in society.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Other than that, this is a really great movie. Really tells a great story, and it's super creative. I really liked all of the bits about the New Earth army. I definitely liked all of the little scenes of that and how that really formed. I don't want to get into any of that really, because that's some of the funny parts, and I don't really want to ruin those for people that do watch this film. So, what was your favorite scene, you think?
My favorite scene, again, I have 2. One of them was whenever they were stuck in the middle of the desert, and Bob and Lynn were stuck in the middle of the desert, and they were stuck at a fork in the road, and so Lynn told Bob that while he was in Jedi training, he was trying to have this instinct of always knowing where to go. So he was given the hypothetical situation, you're stuck at a fork, you go left or right, and he's like, I would go right instantly. And then Ewan McGregor goes, well, that's ironic because we've been sitting here for 30 minutes, so what are you going to do? And then he starts the card, goes right. 30 seconds later, they hit a bomb in the road. They hit a mine, and it just blew up, and it was really funny. Yeah. Oh, I went away. My second favorite part was towards the end, whenever they were in the psych camp, Kevin Spacey's camp, and they're all sitting eating breakfast, and Ewan McGregor was going through the Jedi training with Jeff Bridges, and Ewan McGregor put LSD in the eggs, and he looked over to George Clooney and goes, "Don't eat the eggs." And it looked like he was kind of like playing a mind trick on him, trying to get in his head. And then like George Clooney starts looking around and sees everybody's eating the eggs, and they start acting really weird. And he's like, "What did you do?" He's like, "I put LSD in the eggs. Don't eat the eggs." And then Jeff Bridges looks over at him and he's like, "I put LSD in the water." And Ewan McGregor looks, he's like, "But we've been drinking the water." And then he just slowly sips it. He's like, "Yeah, we have." And then they go on this huge LSD trip. Where,
Like the whole military.
You know, they're driving tanks, running people over. It was awesome. It was great. One thing I do kind of want to talk about though is a few shout outs that they did in the movie. They did one with the Star Wars. We've already talked about that. But with Jeff Bridges, everybody knows Jeff Bridges from The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
The dude, the hippie guy. Smokes weed. Free love for everybody. Just super laid back, chill, and they bring this back in this film, and I really like that. I thought that was a strong point, because that's Jeff Bridges. He's
he
the
really
dude.
Connected
He's
well
the
in this
dude.
movie.
Because in this movie, he's a hippie again. He started the New Earth Army, and it was instead of training to kill people, it was training to love people.
Yeah,
really.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah.
I liked all of his scenes where he's kind of on this like hippie. He starts off as just a normal guy and then goes through this like hippie phase, and it never ends throughout the movie. And I thought that was really funny.
And I think what I also liked about the movie was it was super ironic that the military who was funding this New Earth Army that was training troops to stop war.
Yeah.
So the army was funding,
But stop war through peace, not through like violence, like we would think an army would do.
and the army didn't even know it. The army did not know
yeah.
what they were doing. It was great.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I thought that was clever. Another thing I really liked about this movie is the whole time they have. So the New Earth Army, they use like psychic abilities, and their whole thing is about like superpowers and trying to use different ways to fight instead. And they do all these like crazy things. And one of the things I thought in the movie that the whole time is you're kind of thinking, now is this all like really true, or are they just kind of like using like a state of mind kind of thing? Like you don't really know it unless you like think that you know it kind of thing.
Or they're just bullshitting.
Yeah, they're just like bullshit and just like kind of just like playing around kind of thing. And I thought like that was kind of cool where you had to like make up your own mind throughout the film if that was like real or if they were just like faking it and BSing through the whole thing.
And that was kind of the question. Because you kind of got the feeling through the entire time that they were just bullshitting all this. They were talking about fighting techniques that wouldn't hurt people, or you were getting in their mind. He's like, try to attack me, and I'm going to disrupt your thoughts using my mind power. And then Ewan McGregor tries to attack George Clooney, and then he disrupts his mind power or whatever.
Yeah.
By grabbing him by the arm and throwing him on the ground. He's like, you see, I barely moved. I barely moved when I did that. So it was my mind that did it, not my body. And you're just kind of like, that doesn't really add up. I don't see it. But then towards the end, at the very end of the movie, it's kind of a plot twist.
Yeah, you start to like either you make your choice on whether it was fake or real. And I really enjoyed that part of the film.
Yeah, it kind of has a Birdman ending to it. Those of you who've seen Birdman, at the very end, whenever he jumps out the window, and his daughter looks up and sees, what does she see? We don't know. Well, that's kind of the ending this one gets, and you kind of make up your mind. Was it true? Was it not true? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. I like that aspect of it. It kind of had a, life is what you make it kind of feel, and I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's what, in my opinion, made it a strong point, and then definitely the finding your own place in the world, and you have to kind of like go out and discover your own thing. You can't just like sit back and wait for it to come get you. You have to kind of like one thing that Bob in the movie really does is he kind of like does something that makes him uncomfortable and he wouldn't usually do, and that helped him find what he is and where he fits in the world, and I thought that was super cool. So this film is filled with great acting. It's filled with great acting, and then I thought it was super clever, super creative. So if you like films like that, I mean, you like war films or something that shows you something like a different side of like life, like that we don't really see much. I'd definitely check out this film. If you like Ewan McGregor, I know a lot of people like big star. Yeah, he always is good in movies. Jeff Bridges, I mean, he has a big cult following, so definitely if you like him, I mean, you've probably already seen this film. But yeah, definitely check out this film if you haven't. Yeah, I would give it a 4. He's giving it a 3.
But the official movie foreman result is 4.
Yeah. So we'll keep watching films. We'll keep making these videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, again, we'll take the thumbs down for good feedback, bad feedback. Add a comment. If you like this video a lot, share it. You can follow us at The Movie Foreman on Twitter. And then look forward to more videos. We're about to watch The Labyrinth.
With David Bowie.
David Bowie, George Lucas produced. Jim Henson did all the puppeteering in this movie.
Frank Oz is in it.
Frank Oz is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing some of this stuff too. So, I mean, just look forward to more videos from us. We'll be doing a lot more from now on, and then we'll get this Labyrinth movie video up next. So yeah, keep looking out for us, and then we'll give you some good stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
hold on. And if there's anything we miss in the film, any Easter eggs, be sure to mention it in the comments and let us know, because we want to. If we miss anything, we'd like to know about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks
for
guys.
watching.